What's up, YouTube? Kristo here. I've got a review for you. This is a scent I recently put in my 5 great cheapies in 10 minutes. This is Tokyo Milk's Bittersweet from the Dark series. Now, a little bit about Tokyo Milk. It's an indie niche house from the United States. It's not got a huge following or huge distribution or anything, but it does actually have quite a few devout fans, bit of a cult following. It's actually available in Canada through Sephora, which is kind of surprising, because obviously Sephora is huge, like one of the biggest cosmetic fragrance chains in the world. But this is still kind of an obscure niche fragrance house, which they seem to be getting more and more into. But anyways, for this fragrance here, for notes, it's just chocolate. Lots and lots of chocolate. Now, it even has, and this is kind of unique, I've never really seen this, but it actually lists the notes right on the bottle as well as right on the box. And I'll talk about the packaging a little bit later, but according to the bottle, the notes are cake flour, dark cacao bean, osmanthus, and bronzed musk. Now, if you're not familiar with osmanthus, to me it basically gives a smell of dry tea leaves. Definitely when I smell it in like pre-90s women's fragrances, which I think it's commonly used or more commonly used, that's definitely what it reminds me of. Now, I can't really say I get a lot of osmanthus in this, other than just heaps and heaps of chocolate, cacao, cake flour, whatever. I get a little tiny sprig of mint, maybe even basil, kind of in the opening hour or so. But that's kind of the closest thing I can see to there being osmanthus in here. This is really just a complete chocolate bomb. Now, what does it make me think of? It actually makes me think of baking a cake, chocolate, of course, but kind of out of order. So the opening of this is kind of like a cake, a fresh chocolate devil's food cake taken right out of the oven. It's moist, it's sweet, it's sticky, it's just got that warm, chocolatey smell to it. The second step, the mid to this, is kind of after it's cooled and you've put a layer of chocolate icing on the cake. And the ultimate dry down on this is actually the opening stage of baking a cake. It smells like you've just ripped open one of those sachets of instant chocolate cake mix. It's very dry, very powdery. So it basically goes from like really, really sweet, moist, rich, chocolatey, gets a bit darker, a bit heavier, a bit sweeter, then it gets like really powdery towards the end. That said, the stages aren't hugely that different. It's fairly linear, and then it's just like chocolate straight through. The chocolate just kind of gets darker, thicker, powderier as it goes along. Now, in terms of performance on this, I'll talk about the price a little bit later, but this is an EDP as standard, and it's honestly kind of has me wanting for a super dark, chocolatey, gourmand fragrance. I just kind of expected it to be a lot heavier. Actually, the first time I tried this, I kind of dismissed Tokyo Milk as kind of a goofy house. I had no interest in them. They're quite cheap as well. And I was in the Sephora, the local Sephora where I live, which isn't that good, to be honest, compared to the ones you can get in, Toronto or New York, presumably as well. But I finally tried them, and I just kind of like, try that one. Yeah, okay, nothing great. Let me try that one, nothing great. And then I tried this. I was like, wow, that is really, really unique. So I had the SA make me up a sample. I brought it home. And my big complaint was it didn't give me the performance I wanted. It lasts about 6 to 8 hours, which is perfectly reputable, but the projection is nothing that great. Especially after about an hour or 2 hours, it sits very close to the skin. You can still definitely smell it, but it just doesn't project like a monster like I would have expected for something, that fits this profile. Um, in terms of like gender, occasion, season, season definitely without a doubt winter, and that's why I've kind of waited till now to review. I wanted to review this for a while, but it's just now starting to get really cold for this. It is, even though it doesn't project that much, it's still really, really heavy and dark and thick. Um, Occasion, I think this is the kind of thing, it's just kind of fun and quirky. I can't really see someone wearing this to work. If you showed up to work wearing this, um, yeah, people might start to wonder why you smell like chocolate cake. I can't see it being a very professional smelling fragrance if you catch my drift. It's just kind of like a fun fragrance to wear to hang out, maybe go on a date with someone that you're familiar with, hang out at the bar, something like that. Gender, I always like to ride the fence unless something is really masculine or really feminine. And I definitely have to say that this is pretty feminine for just pure chocolatiness, powderiness. Yeah, this is going to lean to the feminine side. I don't like gourmands generally, but I really enjoyed this one. So, that's proof right there that even if you dislike sweet or gourmand fragrances, to still check it out. Now, pricing and packaging for this, pricing is excellent. That is one of the biggest draws that brought me to this. In Sephora, in Canada, where it's most easily accessible, it is 44 Canadian dollars. In the United States, Indie Cent, you can get this through there. It is 36 American dollars. Now, bottles are quite oddly sized. They're 16 ounces or 47.3 mil, which sounds a bit arbitrary. Maybe there's some reasoning behind it. But either way, it's a great price for the quality and the uniqueness of it. I think for something in this small of a size, if you get up to like 100 mil, you can get some decent niche fragrances for a little over $1 per mil. But at 50 mil and under, it gets really hard to find something that is this great of quality for price. Now, packaging, I just want to show quickly. I don't usually get into packaging, but I like this. It's kind of interesting. Now, first of all, it does have kind of like an early turn of the century, previous century, kind of like, Victorian apothecary look to it. Just kind of like the text and the numbering and stuff like that. But one thing that's kind of interesting, the box and bottle pretty much correspond perfectly. So each side of the fragrance, the bottle and the box pretty much match up, except for this side here on the bottle where it says by Margot Elena, who is the perfumer and proprietress of Tokyo Milk. Overall with this fragrance, I'm really glad I picked it up. I was kind of hesitant to try the brand because it just seemed not my thing at all. I'm not really into kind of gimmicky or goofy or, quirky fragrance houses. But this one I'm glad I checked out. There's not much else from the Dark series, which is pretty much all they have in Canada, that really stood out. There are a few that were okay, but this one just totally, totally stood out to me. And even though I, could very easily and quickly pick up, flaws with performance, I still just had to have it. The pros for this, absolutely, it is great quality for money. I think, at under $1 per mil, 36 American for 47 mil, EDP, no brainer. It's easily accessible. If you live in Canada, if you live in America, you don't even have to leave your house. You can order it online and have it shipped, within a week. Europe, I'm assuming this will be semi-easy to pick up. The rest of the world, though, not so easy. I'm not a gourmand fan, but I love pastry gourmands. Jeu de Pot from Serge Lutens, Bond number 9, I Love New York for her. Really great pastry gourmands, and this definitely adds to it. I really, really enjoy this. I think it's just such an interesting, unique, um, totally different take on chocolate than I've ever really smelled. Negatives for this one, without a doubt, if you don't like chocolate fragrances or cacao fragrances, if you don't like gourmands, yeah, there's a very good reason. There's a very good possibility you won't like this one. Still try it. I always, urge you to try before you pass judgment, though. Um, if you live outside of North America, Western Europe, it's probably going to be harder to find, but at least look around if you're interested. Um, Performance, I do kind of wish it was, dialed up a notch or two. I would like that because that's what I want when it's like bitter cold. I want something that is really going to project, that I can smell even when I'm walking around outside with my winter jacket in the bitter cold. Overall, I'm really happy with this and I'm glad I picked up a bottle. I've revisited a lot of the other fragrances from Tokyo Milk, from the Dark series at least. And there's some that I say or think are okay, but this one is just, in my opinion, by far the best. I've just never really smelled a gourmand that smells like this, or a cacao or a chocolate-based fragrance. I just think it's really unique, fun to wear. It's definitely not a masterpiece. Like, no one will ever call this fragrance a masterpiece. It's not going to make critics' top 10 lists. It's not going to make, best fragrance of the year. It's not going to win best gourmand or whatever, but I think it's just fun, cheap, and easy to wear. So that's my review of Bittersweet from Tokyo Milk. Have you tried the fragrance? What do you think of it? Let me know. Do you like it, dislike it? If you're into gourmand fragrances, is this something that's been on your radar, or have I got you intrigued in it perhaps? But there you go. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you again soon.